The modern image of a high vibrational life is often defined by a specific aesthetic: clean eating, constant meditation, and a soft, unflappable calmness. But this curated exterior often masks a deeper psychological reality. Applying the principles of Carl Jung, this state is less about lifestyle choices and more about a complete reorganization of the psyche. It requires moving past the split between who a person is and who they pretend to be. Jung observed that the majority of human suffering stems from internal fragmentation. We become divided into isolated compartments that rarely communicate with one another. This fragmentation splits the psyche into parts: the version we show the world, the part we hide, deny, or don't even know exists. We spend enormous energy managing this friction, holding these pieces together, exhausted by the invisible effort of trying not to fall apart. Jung identified the social mask we wear as the persona. It's a version of ourselves we built early in life to secure love and avoid punishment from the people around us. Maintaining it requires editing yourself in real time. You agree when you disagree. You smile when you are hurting. You stay silent when you have something vital to say. Eventually, the mask becomes so perfected that the real self feels distant. You start living inside the performance rather than behind it. At this threshold, a person begins to feel internally empty. Even if the external world sees a successful, high-vibrational lifestyle, the internal energy is steadily collapsing. Integration begins only when this split becomes intolerable. It starts when a woman notices that every time she suppresses her truth to avoid conflict, she leaves a part of herself behind. Repairing this divide requires entering the territory society teaches us to avoid: the shadow. The shadow contains everything you were taught was unacceptable: your anger, your ambition, your jealousy, and the desires you were told were inappropriate. These qualities do not vanish when they are rejected. They simply go underground. From there, they operate silently, influencing your triggers, your exhaustion levels, and your sudden unexplained breakdowns. This leads to projection, perceiving our denied traits in others. Denying your anger makes the world seem aggressive, an endless distorted mirror. When a woman acknowledges her shadow, this projection dissolves. Her energy returns and the world clears, no longer viewed through self-denial. This clarity can be unsettling to others. She is no longer participating in shared illusions or playing the same unconscious psychological games, which creates a natural mismatch in the room. Another major shift involves developing the Animus, Jung's term for the inner masculine energy, responsible for logic, direction, and boundaries. In its unintegrated state, this force acts as a harsh inner critic that creates constant self-doubt. When balanced, however, it provides the psychological structure needed for decision-making. This manifests as the ability to say no without guilt, or walk away from a situation without needing to explain yourself. You choose yourself without seeking external permission. Others often misinterpret this structural clarity as coldness or arrogance. In reality, it is simply the behavior of a person who is no longer internally divided. Because she has stopped abandoning herself internally, external tactics like guilt and emotional manipulation stop working. She becomes aligned, and that alignment is difficult to move. Integration changes the way empathy functions. It ends the habit of self-abandoning empathy while leaving the capacity for genuine connection intact. She learns to feel emotions without fusing with them. Like dyes moving through water, she observes emotional energy pass without storing it in her identity. When faced with intensity, she remains centered. If someone else is anxious or angry, she listens without absorbing chaos or mirroring their reaction. By refusing to amplify unconscious emotions, she provides a stable point of reference for those around. This lack of mirroring prevents emotional escalation, making her presence a regulating force in chaotic environments. This internal alignment eventually shifts her external world. Relationships built on her silence or her willingness to carry someone else's emotional weight often begin to fade. This phase is often mistaken for loneliness, but it is closer to Jung's concept of solitude. While loneliness is a disconnection from others, solitude is a complete connection with self. In this state, behavior changes automatically. She stops over-explaining her choices, stops shrinking to fit expectations, stops performing gratitude for basic respect. This alignment eventually attracts an environment that values depth and honesty. She finds people who respect boundaries because they are also doing their own inner work. Jung's ultimate framework teaches that wholeness is about becoming complete rather than perfect. It requires a person to stop rejecting the parts of themselves that are essential to their humanity, allowing them to remain present in conflict without losing their center.